Thank you for joining the New York University Graduate School of Arts and Science Admitted Student event, and congratulations on your admission. My name is Sina Berg, and I am an Assistant Director in Graduate Enrollment Services, where we work closely with applicants, admitted and enrolled students, and our academic departments. We have a great team of colleagues from GSAS and the Office of Global Services with us today, who will be answering your questions a bit later during the Q&A component of this event. But first, I'm going to go through a brief presentation with information on what makes NYU GSAS unique and next steps for getting started. Also, we are very pleased to have a current student with us who you will hear from soon as well. We encourage you to wait to ask your questions until the Q&A, as we hope to address many of the questions you may have throughout our presentation. Note that we will be including links to helpful pages in the chat during the presentation. We will also email you a document with these links, as well as a recording of this session within the next couple of days. We want to give you a sense for the core offices that comprise the Graduate School of Arts and Science and support our students. These include Graduate Enrollment Services, Academic and Student Affairs, and our 54 academic departments and programs, which are the home base for our students. By this point, we know that many of you have had a chance to review the GSAS New Student Checklist. We encourage you to read through each item. The checklist will help you navigate getting started at NYU. You can also learn about our community and the resources and opportunities available both within GSAS and NYU at large on our website. If you are in the area or will be visiting, we encourage you to schedule a campus tour or take a self-guided tour using an app that you can download from our website. You can also take a virtual tour, watch a video narration of a tour, and check out our interactive campus map to get a sense for the area. Most of our academic programs host new student orientations, virtual or in person, and they will be in touch with you regarding the dates. The Office of Global Services hosts international student pre-orientations. Keep an eye out for emails about these events that provide helpful information about immigration regulation requirements, things to know when traveling to the US, as well as recommendations around cultural adjustment. Receive tips for getting your I-20, DS 2019, and student visa, meet other students, and discuss topics like work, travel, and life at NYU at these OGS events. The Graduate School of Arts and Science will also host a new student orientation, which will be the week of August 17th here on campus. During this week of orientation events, you will have the opportunity to go on outings, explore the campus, learn about resources, and get to know fellow GSAS students from across our many graduate programs. Keep an eye out for an email from our Student Affairs team with more information in June. We are now going to go through important topics such as how to accept your offer of admission, financial aid, living in New York City, information for international students, and university resources. Whether you have already decided to join us or you're still making your decision, we hope you find this session helpful. Since you are participating in this event, then you have received an offer of admission. So again, congratulations. To officially accept your offer, if you haven't already, log into your application and look at your application status page. Follow the instructions for replying to the offer of admission. If you need to pay an enrollment deposit, that may be paid by credit card. It is non-refundable and will be applied as a credit against your first term's tuition. Fully funded students are not required to pay a tuition deposit. I wanted to say a word about the Admitted Student resource page, where you can read about activating your NYU Net ID and email our transcript policy, the new student checklist, and information for international students. Please note that if you haven't already, you must submit a final and official transcript that shows your bachelor's degree was conferred prior to enrolling at the graduate school. Note that the first day of the fall 2026 semester is September 2nd. So what makes NYU GSAS unique? Founded in 1886, the Graduate School of Arts and Science is one of the oldest graduate schools in the United States. We enroll over 5,000 students in a broad spectrum of programs, including doctoral, master's, joint, and dual degree programs, as well as global programs and advanced certificates. The school's 54 academic departments convene scholars who conduct path-breaking research and prepare for careers both inside and outside of academia. And NYU's campus is in and of the city and of the world. NYU is the largest independent research university in the United States and is primarily located in the heart of downtown Manhattan and Brooklyn. Beyond our campus in New York City lies a world of opportunity within NYU's global network, with NYU Abu Dhabi and NYU Shanghai, our other degree-granting campuses, as well as 12 international academic centers in Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, South America, and Australia. NYU offers global experiences to members of our community. NYU and GSAS have amazing campus resources, such as our libraries, sports facilities, and the Wasserman Center for Career Development. We have award-winning faculty and are committed to fostering a dynamic and rigorous teaching and learning community that embraces a broad spectrum of viewpoints and approaches. NYU has so much to offer, as does New York City, the larger campus for our students' studies. New York is a fantastic place to be a student. You can find every type of cuisine, visit so many unique neighborhoods and communities, hear many languages spoken on our streets, and experience a wide variety of arts and performance, from grand venues and museums to subway platforms and sidewalks. The Living in New York City section on our website provides information on things like how to find an apartment, public transportation, where to find cheap eats, how to navigate the city streets, and resources for moving. NYU's Center for Student Life advises students on the apartment search process with resources such as commonly used apartment listing websites and local real estate brokers. GSAS offers a doctoral student housing program. Space is available on a first-come, first-served basis. Eligible doctoral students have received an email from GSAS Student Affairs containing the doctoral student housing application. You can find more information on the spaces, eligibility, and costs by following the link we are sharing in the chat and in the email that you've received already. The GSAS Student Affairs team is currently reviewing applications and will be in touch with offers in the coming weeks. Limited university-wide on-campus graduate housing is also available on a waitlist basis only. The application opened on March 16th and will close on May 15th, with housing offers made starting on June 8th. Please note that only students who have accepted the offer of admission are eligible to apply for this type of on-campus housing. When selecting students from the waitlist, priority is given to international students and to students who have a permanent U.S. address more than 35 miles from campus. We will be hosting a virtual housing panel event on April 8th with representatives from our Office of Academic and Student Affairs, who manage our doctoral housing program, and Resident Life and Housing Services, as well as student speakers and other experts on off-campus housing options and resources in the New York City metro area. So keep an eye out for an email with more information about this event. Our International Student Reference Guide provides information for planning your arrival in New York, travel tips, and steps you need to take when you arrive. Obtaining a visa is a crucial aspect of the preparations international students must make before arriving in New York. The application process involves several tasks, so students are advised to take special care in filling out the required forms. We encourage students to start this process as soon as possible and to allow plenty of time for processing. Details can be found in the reference guide and on the Office of Global Services website. The Office of Global Services is your NYU resource on matters pertaining to your immigration status. GSAS is proud to have one of the largest international student populations in the United States. We enroll students from more than 100 countries, representing about 45% of our students. In addition to wondering what it might be like to live in New York, many of our admitted students are wanting to better understand funding and financial aid, so I'm going to address some of the options now. GSAS funding offers went out with admissions letters. If you are a doctoral student or a funded master's student with questions after this event about your funding, we recommend you contact the program you've been admitted into, or you can email gsas.admissions@nyu.edu with your questions. Domestic students, which includes U.S. citizens and permanent residents, who are interested in applying for federal student loans or work study should file the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA. Graduate students are eligible for up to $20,500 in federal unsubsidized Stafford loans and federal work study funds. Domestic students who have filled out the FAFSA will receive an email from the Office of Financial Aid with award information this summer, for those of you starting in the fall. And for those of you starting this summer, you should receive that information soon, if you haven't already. For incoming PhD students, we have a PhD calculator resource on our website that you can use to learn about compensation for things like being a teaching assistant or grader, which are paid in addition to the stipend. You can check with your department about opportunities related to these funding options. The GSAS Tuition Incentive Program, or TIP, is a scholarship matching program. We encourage students to apply for external scholarships and provide tuition to support recipients of external awards. The application will open in late May or early June. And on our TIP website, there is a list of scholarship search sites that you may find helpful. Many external scholarship application deadlines are in the fall, and funding begins the following fall. The TIP application is due by August 31st each year. GSAS has a financial aid program to assist full-time tri-state area elementary and secondary school teachers with a 50% tuition scholarship. GSAS also participates in the Yellow Ribbon program for U.S. veterans, and we provide funding for other active duty service members who are part of the Advanced Civil School and related funding programs. You can search for on and off-campus employment opportunities, including federal work study positions and internships, through our Wasserman Center for Career Development. If you accept our offer of admission, you will be able to access this portal, these job listings, prior to the start of your first semester. International students are permitted to work on and off campus with certain restrictions. The Office of Global Services is your primary contact for advisement on this. Students can learn about opportunities to become resident assistants through the Office of Resident Life and Housing Services. Graduate students may apply for a position after they've completed one semester at NYU. Now is the time for you to ask questions and get information from GSAS and Office of Global Services administrators. So to ask a question, we ask that you use the Q&A feature at the bottom of your Zoom window. And with each question that you ask, please include the program you've been admitted into and let us know if you are an international student. This information helps us tailor our answers and get you the most helpful and specific information possible. We are going to be answering questions in this way for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then we are going to invite our student speaker up so you get a chance to hear from her and ask questions. I'll ask some questions as well. During that time, we'll continue answering any questions that may be in our queue, because we tend to get lots of questions at these events. And in that vein, I just ask that you be patient with us. We're definitely going to get to your question and look forward to getting you the information you're looking for. So let's get started, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for all of the great questions. Thank you for all of the great answers, team. Please, admitted students, continue asking your questions. We're going to keep working on those, as well as the ones that are still in the queue. Just a reminder to continue to let us know what program you've been admitted into and whether you're an international student with each of your questions. The way that Zoom webinar works is we can't really see that prior information easily. So that helps us get you the best information possible. Before I invite up our student speaker, I'm just going to answer some questions that have come up a lot in this event and in events along these lines. One of them is, can the application decision be extended? So typically for PhD admissions, the answer is no. April 15th is a pretty firm deadline. And if you can let us know sooner, great. That's helpful. But if not, that's absolutely fine as well. But for master's admissions, typically, well, there can be the option to get an extension on your decision deadline, your deposit deadline. It really varies by program. So what we say is contact the program that you've been admitted into and ask them if it's possible to have an extension. They understand sometimes you're waiting on information from other programs, sometimes you're waiting on scholarship information. So that is the way that it's handled for master's admissions, is you contact the program you've been admitted into requesting an extension. And our office supports our academic programs around that. So it's not necessary for you to email gsas.admissions@nyu.edu, which is our office. Okay, what else did I flag? Lots of great questions. Okay, so this question is from a European and Mediterranean Studies student or person who's been admitted into that program. Sorry, Zoom webinar jumps around as each new question is added. Okay, so the question is, what other resources are available to assist with finding housing? Okay, so after today's event, we're gonna send you an email that includes a list of links that we've shared, and there's a whole housing section there. You should also receive soon an invite to admitted students for a housing panel. It's going to be a great discussion with folks from on-campus housing, but also off-campus housing resources, students discussing their experiences navigating, searching for housing on and off campus. So that's on April 8th. That'll be a great event. Definitely check that out. If you can't make it, a recording will be available. The other part of that question was, when in the school year do we get any financial loans taken out to assist with paying for housing? So all matters having to do with loans should really be directed to our NYU Office of Financial Aid. Our office, the office that I'm a part of, works with students around scholarship funding. But I can tell you that if you've completed the FAFSA and you're starting in the fall, then you should get a financial aid package over the summer. And that will give you information on what loan amounts you're eligible for. And typically they're dispersed around the start of the semester to help with any of your tuition and other costs. Okay. I think these were all more or less the same questions. So keep keep asking your questions, admitted students. Thank you to our whole team behind the scenes responding to those questions. But we want everyone to get a chance to hear from our current students. So I am going to invite her up now. We're so pleased to have a student speaker with us. Jyotika, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So, to get us started, could you please just introduce yourself? Say your name, where you're from, and the NYU GSAS program that you are a part of.
Hi everyone. I am Jyotika Gupta and I am a first year graduate student from Ahmedabad, India. And I'm currently pursuing master's degree in biology under GSAS.
Okay, amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, we're going to keep an eye on the Q&A, and we do really invite our admitted student participants to feel free to ask questions about the student experience. And while we're waiting for you to do that, I will get us started with some questions. So, Jyotika, if you could just tell us a little bit about what made you ultimately choose NYU and what helped you make the best decision on where to do your graduate studies.
I was particular on doing my graduate studies from US and I liked the curriculum particularly of NYU. For biology particularly, I thought like NYU is very much deep into the research and how they are doing new work in genomics and epigenetics and everything. So I was like, yeah, this place works for me and like I want to do a PhD further. So I'm getting like hands-on experience in lab since the very first day. Like I'm working in a lab since like the first day of the first semester I am doing. So like I like being in the lab and I like that it is very like international oriented as well. Like you see people from all around the world and you like kind of never feel alone. Like I like that.
Wonderful. Well, I'm so pleased to hear all of that. And especially, wow, how fantastic that you've been able to start working in the lab from the very beginning. That's amazing. What an opportunity. So, like many of our students, as you know from your classmates, many students moved to New York to study at GSAS, as you did. Can you talk a little bit about what that experience was like, moving here, finding housing, getting settled, and what advice you have for other students who may be moving here for graduate school this summer or in the fall?
So for me personally, I received my admission letter like really late. So I got my admission in like first week of May and I was like, "Oh, this is too late for me." But I used Facebook housing groups. So those are very good for me as an international student and particularly Indian. I was more diverted towards Jersey because it is very international friendly. I think they have these temples and like particularly Indian grocery stores and everything. So that's why I was more towards Jersey City. But it depends from person to person. Some of my friends are in Brooklyn as well, and some of them are in Manhattan as well. So it depends from people to people. But I used Facebook housing groups, and I thought it was particularly easy to move from India. Like I didn't have much stuff, so it was easy for me, and I had a great help. My dad came with me for like a week,
Oh,
so he helped me a lot. So that was also great for me. But yeah, it is easy to move in. It's not a very difficult, challenging thing. So that's fine.
okay. Well, that sounds amazing. I'm so pleased that it went so smoothly for you. Did you wait until you got here to secure the apartment that you ultimately moved
N-
into?
No, no, no. I did it before coming. So I actually came just the day before the orientation started. So I came on 17th of August, I think. But I had secured it previously, both of my roommates are also from NYU. So like there are these so many housing groups of NYU students, and then there are particular groups of NYU Indian students, NYU Bangladesh students, NYU this country and that country, and from all the way there. So like you can stay with the people whom you are grown up with, so you don't have any kind of issues with that. So I kind of use those platform as well. I was kind of looking as well into the NYU housing which was on campus, but it didn't work out for me that well. So I was like, oh yeah, that's fine. I'll stay away from, I'll stay off campus.
Okay, okay, amazing. That's so great that it has worked out for you. And thank you for sharing insights on your search and those tools that were particularly helpful for you to ultimately find your apartment. And how is the commute for you? How has that been working out?
Oh, so for me, commute, it takes me like less than 30 minutes to reach NYU Washington Square Park. I'm particularly close to Path services, so it connects Jersey and New York City, so that works well with me. And then for other campuses, I usually use NYU buses, and then there is always subway station as well available, so that works out pretty well. So but I think Path is reliable. I like that.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I use the path. For those who don't know what the path is, it's basically just the subway that connects right across the river in New Jersey with Manhattan. It's a different train system, but it's the same concept. It runs underground. It's runs very frequently. Is very convenient. And then you mentioned the bus or shuttle service between campuses, which is an awesome service that NYU has, which is free, right? I believe it's free.
Yeah, it's free. You just have to tap your ID card and you are in.
Right. Yes, exactly. And they run like fairly frequently during kind of the business or during the workday, but into the evening too. So, which is a nice option for evening if you need to get, back into the city from Brooklyn to get to the path, for example. There's that option. So that's cool that you're taking advantage of that. I'm so pleased to hear it. We're keeping an eye on the Q&A. Let's see. Okay, so we'll try to answer this question. The question is it easy to find off-campus housing? Would most landlords need proof of income in order to secure the lease? So anyway, you can say what your experiences were, and I can share additional information. But yeah, the question is, would most landlords need proof of income in order to secure the lease? Yeah,
Usually, I don't think so. For my case, they just ask for the security deposit, like the first month rent and an additional rent amount. So, for example, if your rent is $1,000, so they ask 1,000 and plus extra 1,000 as a security deposit. But I don't think they ask for, landlords usually don't ask. And it was a little bit tough at first because I was very particular about some things which I needed in my house. So that is, it was a little bit tough, but like I secured it pretty nicely, and I am comfortable where I am. So that works out. But you have to like see all the options you had. Usually, I would just suggest people to join these NYU groups on WhatsApp and Facebook and connect to people. And in my case, there wasn't, NYU has these events all around different countries as well. I know meetups. So both of my roommates were from Mumbai, so they had this event connecting and meeting up other NYU students. So they had the opportunity to meet each other and then talk it out. So if you have those available in your city, please do go to them, because it like helps you to find maybe a roommate or like a friend or something like that. So that also works.
great. I would add to that it does vary. Some landlords are going to be asking applicants for information on your housing or bank information, et cetera. So it can vary by apartment that you see. There are some sort of standards, especially that first and last month, like you mentioned, like Jyotika mentioned. So there's some variance. But again, some of these events we have coming up, including the housing event on April 8th, will kind of go deeper dive around those questions. But thank you for asking that one. So we're keeping an eye on the Q&A, and in the meantime, you've already addressed this a little bit, but one question that admitted students sometimes ask us about is what is it like to find and build community on campus and in these individual programs? Can you talk about what your experiences have been like so far in those ways?
So obviously you make friends in your class. So I do have some friends in my program as well. But the close friends which I have made them through the events NYU has. So you go to these particular events and you make friends with them. So I made friends in Indian events, like Indian festival events. So I made friends during Navratri and Diwali. So that is how I made my friend group. But usually I think that's how it works. You go to meetups, you go to networking events, you go to different festival events and these other events. So I think NYU has like so many events. You like go everywhere, eat good food and make new friends. So that's
Yes, yes, I echo that. Take advantage of, as once you become a student, you hear about so many incredible events happening across the university, hosted by the Graduate School of Arts and Science, hosted by like the Master's College within GSAS or student affairs within GSAS, different student clubs across the university or within GSAS. And a great way to kind of get an initial sense of what kinds of groups are out there hosting events is to go to the new student orientation week of activities in August. So you'll get a sense for, student organizations and, things happening on campus. That's a great way to kind of get started. And then once you're here, you'll be getting emails all the time about, yeah, exactly as Jyotika mentioned, like events that have food or events that have a cultural theme or, things along these lines. And so there'll be so many opportunities, and it's just about kind of choosing which ones you want to jump in on and see what they're all about. I think this question is for you. So it is for you, sorry. The question is, do you home cook? How do you find grocery shopping in New York City or in
Oh,
Jersey?
I home cook. I home cook because I like to home cook and I like to eat what I like. So I don't think NYU will provide Indian food at all, like the particular home cooked food. So yeah, I do home cook. So for particular, like in NYU near Washington Square Park, these are some of the grocery stores offer a lot of NYU discounts. So I use those grocery stores a lot, particularly near Washington Square Park and then Union Square as well on 14th Street. So those have like 10-15%. Sometimes maybe there are also 20% discounts using NYU ID cards. So that works well. You can save money. And then for particularly if you are in Jersey City, so then in Journal Square, you guys have a lot of Indian grocery stores as well available. And then I also like Chinatown. There, the it's in Manhattan, a little bit down. So they have a lot of like cheap vegetables, but those are like very fresh vegetables. So those also I like a lot. So I grocery shop there a lot as well. So these are my three options which I have.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing those insights. I just want to mention or echo what you said, which is that around the campus, definitely grocery stores offer discounts, like you mentioned, 10 to even up to 20% for students with your ID. And that's true for restaurants and cafes and other shops. Many of the businesses around campus offer discounts. And sometimes they don't have it posted in their window. So just one student who actually was speaking at one of these events recently, his advice was to just always ask, because
Yeah.
sometimes you might not see the sign in the window or where it may not be visible, but almost everybody, many of the businesses of much variety in the neighborhood
Yeah,
have
I
discounts.
think around 80% of the businesses around NYU campuses have those discounts. They don't,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of them have not written it, but if you ask, do you have NYU discount? So they'll say, yeah, yeah, we'll add to your bill. So they usually add it. Some of them are like, no, we won't, but like maximum, like I think 70-80% they add the discount. So that works as well. They have some good coffee places as well. So
Yes, yes, thank you for that. Yeah, it's a great option. And then with your ID, just to kind of carry on that theme, um, some museums are free, some other cultural events are cultural centers around the city, the whole city, not just the NYU area, are free to students. So those are really awesome opportunities as well. So thank you for that question. We're going to keep an eye out for any more questions, but I have two more if we don't get any more for you. One is around finding work-life balance. What has that looked like? What have you been learning this year? What advice do you have for incoming students about finding work-life balance or, schoolwork if you also work, but also like living your life and enjoying it where you can.
So weekly, I just enjoy using the Engage website, which is the NYU events website, because there are so
Hmm.
many events you can attend around. So I think like during weekdays, because you have classes and then I have my lab work as well, and I have to like give like maybe 15 hours a week to like do my work. So I think that takes a lot of time. And then obviously NYU has gym as well, so those are free. So me and my friends like to hit that as well a little bit. And then during weekdays, weekends, we try to explore around the city. So there's so much to do. There are so many boroughs. So we try to do that. Last week during spring break, me and my friends went around Staten Island and then Governor's Island, and we did a little bit of upstate New York as well. So I try to do a little bit of exploring as well, but those are usually during weekends. During weekdays, because you have these assignments which you have to submit, and then you have quizzes and all those things. I don't think during weekdays we do much about other than the work and then the lab work I have. And yeah, weekends are pretty much chill because you don't have anything else to do if you do all the work during weekdays. So that is how we are trying to make it balance a little bit, like 5 days of work, 2 days of enjoyment.
Excellent. That sounds wonderful. And like it's like your first year is going great in terms of exploring and balancing your academics. So that's fantastic. So pleased to hear it. My last question, and again, we're keeping an eye on the Q&A, but otherwise this will be the last question, is when you look back on, so it sounds like you're admitted in May. So looking back to May when you learned that you were admitted into the MS in biology at NYU and you were getting ready to come, what looking back on that time, what information was helpful for you? What kind of mindset of approaching next steps was helpful for you? And what information might have been helpful that you didn't have that you want people here today to be thinking about as they look ahead to this opportunity?
So, firstly, I would like people to like secure the seat. That is like a really important thing. Don't wait for it to like, don't wait for the admission acceptance letter to go away. Or like if you want to defer it, then just let them know. And then the first step, which I was like, okay, now that I've got it, first step was my to get the I-20 like immediately. So I think I got my offer letter on 30 April and I received my I-20 on like what 4th May or something like that. I was like really quick, and then the office was really quick because I mailed them that like I'm an international student. I have to get the visa appointment and then everything. So after I-20 we did all the work for the visa stuff. So during that time, I think I was very lucky because the day I got my I-20, the US immigration just opened their immigration page. So like F1 visas, they just opened the day before. So I was able to secure interview during I think June second week, I think. And then I got so that worked out really well. After once I was past the visa and I know that okay, I have gotten my visa and everything is done. I was looking for housing, and like housing took me a lot of time. I think my housing was decided by the first week of August. So it took me like 1.5 months to find a good housing. So if you are once your visa work is done, I would like you should like focus on your housing, because a lot of people like around me, they were like they just came and then they looked around and they worked out however they wanted. Like so many of my friends just came and then they looked around for the houses. They were like staying with their relatives, staying with some friends, staying with somewhere in motels, and then they looked around the house. And I was lucky enough to have a housing on the very first day, because I could just come and start setting up my room and start setting up my home. So that worked out. But look for housing as fast as you can, but don't try to secure the housing before you get the visa. You should just in case you defer or like you don't get the visa, your like payment shouldn't go to the housing thing, but because that's a waste of money as well. So try to find the housing as well, but don't do it before the visa. I would suggest that, because some of my other friends who are in other another university did that, but she had to defer her for spring, so that her 1 month of pay like went away, so in drains. So I was like, okay. So that I think one should look out for OGS emails a lot. Look at them, read them carefully, because I think OGS pretty much covers everything for everyone. I think OGS helped me a lot from every step. And if you are having some kind of problems, they usually respond pretty fast. I think they used to respond me to like 1 to 2 days, because it was very new for me, and like the whole NYU system was a little bit complicated. How to work the bright space and everything and stuff, how to make your email ID, how to pay for your tuition and everything. So I think OGS helped pretty well. Just look out for those emails and read them carefully. I don't think anything I missed out. And I don't think NYU missed out on anything else. They were pretty clear, and they gave us a checklist of everything, what to do, what not to do, how to move, and what to bring when you're moving from another country to US and everything, how to do everything. So I think OGS did it pretty well. NYU did it pretty well. They helped us a lot. So
Amazing. Thank you for all of those tips. And yes, for the shout out to our Office of Global Services, OGS, which is really, truly amazing and such an important resource. We actually do have two questions. So we're going to try to get through these as quickly as we can. The first is, do you work to support your time or focus primarily on academics? And they also thanked you for sharing your experiences.
oh, so the lab work which I am doing is not paid. So that's
Oh,
not
okay.
an on-campus job. I think for biology department it is compulsory to do a thesis. And because I want to do a PhD, I knew that I wanted a lab experience as well.
Mhm.
So I am not doing anything right now to support myself, I think. And what was the another question?
The other question was, were you able to decide on your thesis topic in the first semester?
Yeah, I
And
was. I was. Yeah, I liked so I approached professors, I mailed them. I saw the NYU websites, I mailed all the professors, I liked their work, and I mailed them, I sent out my resumes, my transcripts, and everything. And I think the third of one first and second professor, I think they had their labs full, or they were like, you have to take our lecture first, and then we can get you admitted in the spring semester. But I was like, oh no, I won the lab from the very first day. So the third professor was, okay, you have good experience, I'll take your interview. So I think before joining my semester, so on 2nd September, I think I gave my interview on like maybe August 25th, 26th to my professor. And he was happy with my experiences, he was happy with my interview, and he gave me my a little bit of lab position, which is research assistant. And they all the professor work on a particular topic, and your project is somehow related to their topic. So just try to find a professor who is something doing related to your topic which you like. So if you are interested in cybersecurity, just try to find a professor in that particular field and what they are doing. read their research which they have uploaded in their website. So that would help you a lot. I don't think you can choose your thesis topics, like particularly. I don't know for different courses. I know for me particular, for my course in biology, because you have to work in a lab, you need a lot of stuff, like pipettes and then microscope and everything. So those things are like really expensive, and the professor is not going to buy separate things for you. So you work around the professor's lab, like whatever he's working on, you are doing something similar to it. My work is not done by my professor, it's a new thing which we are trying to find out, but it is related to his work. So that is, if you like his work or her work, the professor's work, then only mail them, because that would only help you. But I liked my professor's work, and it's good in epigenetics. I like the work, so I was happy with my thesis topic.
That's fantastic. I'm so pleased that that's worked out well for you. And thank you so much for sharing those insights and for all of the insights that you shared during this session, Jyotika. Thank you so much for being our student speaker.
Thank you so much for having me. And I hope you guys got a little bit of knowledge from me. And if you guys want to know more, you can ask for my email or something. I could like help you if anything you need. So
Thank you so much for that kind offer. So this concludes today's event. Thank you to everyone for joining us. Please stay in touch with our office, Graduate Enrollment Services, and your academic program with any questions. We will email a link to a recording of this presentation, as well as the links that we shared throughout the presentation. And keep an eye out for information on our virtual housing panel event on April 8th. As a reminder, the Graduate School of Arts and Science will host a week of new student orientation events in August, and will send more information in June. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your day or evening wherever you are joining us from, and we hope to get a chance to welcome you to campus this summer or fall. Take care, everyone.